Some of those in the silver-haired community would say it's a great day for golf, and it is, don't get me wrong, but we say it's a great day for football, and the roof is wide open here in Glendale at State Farm Stadium. Today, it's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we've got a good one in store between the Green Bay Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports.
On the stick. Check pass. Check pass.
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. That's a start they can live with. 15 yards on their first play from scrimmage. The yardage numbers for him just keep piling up for his career. He's now toppled, Charles, the 11,000-yard mark.
And just think about that. For most NFL running backs in their career, it feels like if they get to 1,000 yards, they've had a nice little run. He's over 11,000 yards, probably beyond his wildest dreams.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on third down. Well, this defense for the Cards, they were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
Well, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Instead of a 3rd and 1 run, they go pass, and they get 12 yards out of it. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want their body blows all game long and finish it with uppercuts. Well, here are the body blows right now. He's hoping that one uppercut will take care of the end of this drive. A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Looking to throw. Britt. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense, because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
Seventh play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test him early, but it proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
So now the Packers turn things over to the special teams crew. They're on for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 48. And this is just outside the right upright. It's no good.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, You and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
So the missed field goal, and now they're in great shape. They'll start at the 38. Here's Eckler to begin the drive. To about the 40-yard line.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
19 right. Dragon 60.
Now back to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Phillips. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Running on first down, Eckler. And they're going to him him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. The Cardinals at 8-2 on the year. And they come in as a team that looks like a well-oiled machine getting ready for the postseason. Winners of 8 of their last 10.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. He's trying to protect his quarterback's blind side. Got nabbed for the hold.
You have one job over there. Make sure that man does not get hit. So if you have to hold occasionally, do so because they don't catch all of them. This time they did.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20. Back to throw. Looking deep downfield. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers will take over here at their own 12-yard line. They set themselves behind the chains, trying to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. 40 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, this shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone, and there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Britt. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Mullen. And the Cards are going to take possession of the football. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
And incomplete on the deep ball. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with third down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8.
70 Rangers.
Looking to throw. He'll get this to Eckler. Touchdown, Cardinals. Austin Eckler hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Cardinals use the only turnover to get on the board first here in this one.
And that's another route that defenders would vote to take out of the game.
The wheel route?
Oh, without a doubt. You're just trying to move everybody in one direction. And whether it's a running back or another receiver, as they zip out behind the sideline, you got a problem on your hands.
Yeah, the defenders had it there, and it resulted in a touchdown. McCann's got it teed up. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And you know, it's certainly a lot of football left to play. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're in first place in their division, looking really good and looking to be a threat come January.
And are you one of those early holiday shoppers, partner? Are you?
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. And they will score. It's a pick six for the Cardinals touchdown. Still in the first quarter, but what a great start for them. I mean, they've controlled the airways, Charles, on both sides. They had the passing touchdown, then they intercept the pass of the other squad and take it back for another score.
Brandon, I know we have a ton of time left, but what an early backbreaker they just delivered. And they appear to be totally dialed in. And that offense, they're forced to run right back out, still shaking up a bit, but feeling the pressure to put something on the scoreboard. They've got to be careful here.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Operating from the gun. Britt. Caught on the right side by Jones. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And it's 3rd and 4 now. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy on the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw and a good one.
Right there, right there.
From the gun on 3rd down. Britt And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Good clean play. No flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion, and that should get them off the field with a 3-and-out.
Tressway on 4th down is sent out to punt. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They'll drop to throw. Going up top. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Cardinals. A great play there. 66 yards. And the Cardinals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by McCann, up and good. And that makes the score 21-0. McCann's got it teed up. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Okay, ready?
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Jalen Thompson picks it, and the Cardinals are going to take possession of the football. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run it and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. It's Eckler again. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal.
And that's a nice pickup of a 1st down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Ready?
Now a 1st carry for their fullback. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Not a lot of headway on that carry, but when you're dealing with a defensive line that can cover up your center, sometimes you got to think about getting out of that play. Not going to be a lot of space when that happens.
On 2nd down, Eckler. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. Austin Eckler with his 9th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Cardinals are able to add on to their first half lead. Extra point by McCann, up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half. McCann's got it teed up. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion, but I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and it passed him.
And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Carlton Davis picks it, and they will score. It's a pick six for the Cardinals touchdown.
McCann for the point after.
And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25.
Ready, set.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Now Jones is hit. He lost the football. But it looked like a Packer. Yeah, a Packer was able to get this back, and they'll indeed keep possession.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
So they recover their own fumble. Now they face third and short.
60 by 60 by.
Looking to throw. Britt got a man, Slayton. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. It's an 11-yard pickup. Thought they'd run it on 3rd and 1. Not the case.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down.
Well, he shot in, CD, like he was out of a cannon from that linebacker position. And even though they had a running back in the backfield, no one could stop him.
Well, you certainly diagnosed that play perfectly, because as fast as he got into the backfield, you're exactly right. The running back had no shot to get over and try and protect his quarterback, and a sack resulted.
That'll give him 8 that time. And 3rd and 8 now.
Timing is so important on a route like this, because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late, because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half.
Hey, check that. 3. Ready.
To throw on 3rd down. Britt. And that will be incomplete.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return, and they will take over 1st and 10. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And with a huge lead already, they may be thinking, hey, our job's complete for these first 2 quarters. Let's get this to the locker room.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And the defense obviously expecting run as well, as they're going to shut that one down at the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up. So we reach halftime here in Glendale with the Cardinals on top. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The Cards with a lead, and they will get this football first as the second half gets started. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They started on the ground with Eckler. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Once more, here's Eckler. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Eckler now between the tackles.
Up past the 30, 2nd down coming up. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Quay Walker, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
And we all know how talented this guy is, who's calling the signals for him, but even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
So good work there on the defensive side for the first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and until their offense can get into rhythm, their defensive players and staff have got to say to themselves, we've got to make it work. We've got to stand in here and make sure nothing else happens until our guys start moving the ball.
This is fielded at the 27. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They'll try and get the running game going with Jones. Takes it to about the 37.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Looking to throw on second down. Britt firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
19 tight, 19 tight. Check smash.
Throwing on first down. Britt. He'll let this go for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked by Trayvon Mullen. And the Cards are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Well, that is now his 5th interception thrown in this game. And Charles, you've got to tip your cap to this defense. I mean, they have been so impressive reading these passes, stepping in those lanes, and picking them off.
Yeah, sometimes the best offense is an excellent defense, and they've done exactly that. What do you think, partner? A season's worth of highlights in just 4 quarters? I think that's what we're seeing from this group.
Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, partner, I don't think it's any secret that any running back wants to be able to see a hole open so that he can gallop through it. But in this case, he had to slow down. There was really no hole there, and he took a big hit in order to get that 1 yard.
Second and 9 now from the 21. They'll set up to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Out of the gun, Eckler running it. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
So into Packer territory now. Here's first and 10 at the 47. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Looking Austin Eckler's way again. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
Let's go now.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up third down. They're up big here in the fourth quarter, up really big. That passing incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points. But they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
Oh, it was hit at the line of scrimmage and intercepted. The 30, 20, and the Packers are going to take possession of the football. What a play. The big man comes up with the interception. Puts together, Charles, a nice little return, too.
Yeah, he's not going to make anybody forget Darrell Green or Rod Woodson, but look at him lug that thing. He decided it was his. A lot of people might have thought about lateraling it there. No shot. Trying to take it the distance.
Hurt.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Sideline throw. It's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it's second down.
This game just keeps evolving and changing, doesn't it? You got a tight end who can move around a lot. Not necessarily using a big body on him. Sometimes you take a corner, a better cover guy, and put him on him and try and take him out of the game as we've seen in this one.
You're exactly right. They've taken him out of the game. That was just his first catch. Big reason they're losing right now. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Check, Bobcat, Cut 19, cut 19. Dixie Maverick.
Back to throw. Britt. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
So now the Packers turn things over to the special teams crew. They're on for the field goal try. This one from 35 yards away. And this one is right through. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? Best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. He finds his man complete. It's Phillips. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. Up the middle with Eckler. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line.
46 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That second down play nets a -4.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Come on.
This offense so far on third down, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. He'll drop to throw. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Rashawn Gary coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. Tell you what, he did not have much time there to scan the field before he was ducking and covering.
Did it appear to you, as it did to me, that the defensive front won their play really quickly? Meaning the guys in front of him had almost no chance to block him. They were on him in a hurry.
Fielded just inside the 20. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
Off the play fake. Britt.
Pass caught. It's Romeo Doubs.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A pickup of 24 on the third down conversion.
And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
Well, we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline, because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants his lead to stay right where it is.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops from one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Pat the street.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. He's going to air one out. And my goodness, another interception. Jalen Thompson picks it.
But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it could be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. That one looks like he'll throw here. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Pineda.
Finding space at the 40. Now he's loose at the 40.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run in the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because When he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11.
And the final clocking on the next-gen stats there. How about this?